Well, what's crack? We're back for another video here, and as you can see, we are going for a pit session. So today we're going to chat through a speed session. In terms of the rehab side of things, the speeds probably aren't going to be through the roof, but over the last couple of weeks I've been progressing the running, hitting a wee bit of higher speed work and then building up the overall running volume at lower intensity. So today we're going to go for a bit of speed, we're going to stick the GPS on, we're going to see what we get up to, and yeah, we're going to talk through the ins and outs of a speed session, how to put it all together, what you should be doing, why you're doing it. So yeah, enjoy. Nike socks, Adidas boots, absolutely criminal, but we'll get stuck in. Sweet. Fucking windy one today. Just back from Marbella where it was 30 odd degrees, and now I'm back suffering from hay fever. Windy, looks like it's going to rain, and cold, so happy enough. But yeah, plan for the session, gonna get a good warm up in, good bit of mobility, get the body moving, get the heart rate up, get the blood flowing, get the body firing, go through a few drills, and then just gradually build up the speed as we go through the session here. So we'll get into it. With any session, just kind of like to start off on the ground, just rolling about, getting the hips, back, hamstrings all loosened out. Obviously you're using a lot of that for the session. So I always find the sessions you spend a good bit of time warming up for always end up being better sessions. Otherwise you just fucking feel stiff and run about like a tin man. Fuck. With the rolling back and forward, you see I was doing a few double leg legs, sort of middle and wide, and then in the single leg just with pushing the other leg down to the side, just to get a bit of the hip and glute opened. Feels good. So yeah, just I have like a few exercises to go to, but to be honest, don't have a massive structure, just kind of flow between them all. Anywhere I'm feeling particularly tight, I'll spend a wee bit more time with. So sitting a good bit yesterday on the flight and that, so hips, gonna get an extra wee bit of time today. So once I get things mobilised and get everything kind of loosened up, then it's into like activating and sort of priming the muscles. Obviously hamstrings are a troubling issue, but then also when you're sprinting, hamstrings need to be firing. They're one of the key muscle groups that are working, and if you're just going in and they're sort of not warmed up and not ready to go, one, you're probably not going to go as fast, but two, the chance of injury is obviously going to go up as well. Favourite way to go about it is, I suppose, if you've any pain or even just for getting warmed up in general, hitting a few isos, so just getting into the bridge. As you've seen in one of my last videos where I talk about keeping that rib cage down, so keeping that pelvis tucked, and then literally just driving into the ground, holding that sort of position for 30 seconds. Going to do 3 sets each side. So driving that heel into the floor, keeping the ribs tucked, nice and relaxed through the lower back. So just shake it out, and then we're going to go for 2 more sets each side. While we're resting here, just in terms of like where we would put this session in the week, this time of year we're obviously in season, probably coming towards championship season, the business end of the year for most players. But when it comes to your speed work, my go-to approach is getting your speed work done like 30-40 minutes before your team session. The reason for that is sprinting is a high intensity exercise. We want to be as fresh as possible going into a speed session. And we want to keep our high intensity days on the same day. So your team tuning session is going to be one of your biggest days of the week. So getting down to the pitch 30-40 minutes early, go through your warm up, go through your prep, get into the speed. You'll fly into the team session. 2, you're going to have more time to recover in the rest of the week, rather than going from high intensity session, trying to sprint the next day when you're not fresh. 1, you're not going to get the outputs that you want, and 2, the risk of injury is just going to go far higher. You're going to dig yourself into a bigger hole, and then the sessions throughout the rest of the week are going to be negatively impacted then. So yeah, get your sessions done, 30-40 minutes before team training. You're going to be flying with that. Alright, so 1 more set, and then we'll start getting the legs moving a wee bit more. We'll get into a few drills, just focusing on different positions that we want to be hitting when we're actually sprinting. And then we'll just gradually build up the speed throughout the rest of the session, and then hit a couple of high speed efforts here. So literally just recently, Stat Sports have messaged me to come on board as an ambassador, and whatever the message, I was like, fucking right, we're jumping at it. Basically, like, my thought process around like working with different brands is, if I actually use the brand myself and I'm already paying for it, and I like and believe what they're actually promoting, and I think it's useful and helpful, then I'm all for it. So the likes of Optimum Nutrition, I've worked with them before. I was buying their product anyway. Stat Sports, I've been using their product the last couple of years. I promote it with my clients. I've actually bought some of my clients when they come on board some of the GPS stuff, and I look at all their numbers using the Stat Sports GPS. So when they reached out, I was like, 100% we're going for it. So if you want to get involved, if you want to get to use it, I'm going to use it in the session here to give you a bit of an idea on how to use it. If you want to get your own one, check the link in the description. You can use code OMcCabe, all capitals, for 15% off and get your own unit. We use them with the county as well, we use them with the team, but it's a different sort of setup, so I haven't been using my personal one in a while, so I'm looking forward to getting it back out. With the vest, I thought I actually lost it, and then I found it. I remember it had been ripped in a session from wearing it over my top. Normally you meant to wear it under your top. That'll teach me. We're going to run through it here today. We're going to use this to track our speed. When it comes to GPS, you can see that a lot of players just look at the max distance they ran, they look at the fastest speed they ran, and while that is useful, there's so much more that you can get out of using the GPS, which I'm going to show you here today. So yeah, we're going to stick it on, we're going to see what we get up to. As I said, I haven't hit max speeds in a while because of the hamstring injury, and we're only building back up. So if I get in around like the 8, it's a bit mad, but if I get in around sort of 8 meters per second, I'll probably be pretty happy today. A lot of the running I've been doing, it's just been drills and sort of slower, steady state, continuous stuff. So yeah, if I get the 8 meters per second, we'll be going well. Boom, we're back in. Right, so we're gonna have a live session, and we're gonna check the session as we go. A couple of things I'm looking at is max speed hit, and then actual step balance as well. So with one hamstring being dodgy, I've been probably pushing a lot with my right, and my left isn't working as hard. So I wanna make sure that we're just using left and right equally, or as close to equal as possible. But yeah, session, we're going to start off with a few drills, just get the body moving, get the body warm, and then we're going to get stuck in. So even just for normal warm-up, just to get really simple, get the legs moving, just get a bit of movement, running, skipping, all that sort of crack. Again, obviously if you're just jumping into a session cold, 1, you're not going to get the outputs you want, but if you go from fucking 0 to 100 and try and sprint, it's not going to be pretty. You might get away with it a few times, but I'd rather not run the risk of pulling something. So getting stuck in the drills. Basically, with any sort of sprint drills, you're working on finding positions that you want to hit in your speed session. So you'll work on, for max speed, everything's kind of more upright, focusing on getting that knee in front, focusing on getting the foot into the ground, working on that cyclical type movement of the legs, keeping the toes up so that when we hit the ground, we're nice and springy and we're reactive off the ground, so we're spending less time on the ground. So I kind of have like a couple of go-to drills, and different people inside the program will have different drills to work on for different areas of the run. But But for me at the minute, we're going A-skip, we're going dribbles, we're going scissor bend, and we're going a few pogos as well, just to get the ankle stiffness reinforced, because that's one thing that I'm very toey when I run, so I need to focus on keeping those toes up. So A-skip initially, 2 feet coming to the ground, keep it nice and tall. One leg comes up, comes down, it releases the other leg to come up, so it's just nice and fluid, just getting that rhythm, that coordination, getting the body working, but also getting the brain switched on as well. Still going? Ireland, what do you fucking expect? At least with the wind, that wind behind me, I'll probably hit a PB here. So with this A-skip now, it's just getting a bit more springier, a bit more aggressive. So you'll see I go to one leg on the ground and then a fast switch, rather than the first one was a bit more fluid and a bit more bouncy, just getting that rhythm and coordination. Whereas now, fucking hell. Man, it's just getting a wee bit faster. And you'll see that with each drill, we're ramping up the gears, ramping up the intensity as we go through the run. So here, double contact, both legs off the ground as we switch, keeping the toes up, hitting that ground hard. We're going to go into dribbles, so start with an ankle dribble, calf dribble, knee dribble, and just focus on getting a wee bit taller or a wee bit bigger with each one. So again, keeping the hips pushed through, chest nice and tall, but rib cage down, we're not sort of sitting back here, and then just focus on stepping up and over, creating that small cyclical type movement. So it's almost like mini high knees, nice fast turnover, and then building up the speed as we go through it. That's the other thing, we're getting your speed working. Like, you live in Ireland, it's going to be fucking lashing a lot of the time. It's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, but the work still needs done regardless of the weather. So Ryan's nice and warm in the car at the minute, but yeah, we're still getting the speed work done. The high knees here with the dribbles, you want to think of like high knees level 1, 2, 3. So ankles was level 1, then we're going to go up over calves, so just a wee bit higher. Again, just thinking like getting that knee in front, lifting that leg in front, and then snapping down and back underneath the hip, keeping the toes up, keeping the foot nice and stiff, keeping the ankle stiff, and building up that fast sort of turnover. So from here, just a wee bit bigger this time, and then going to try and go a wee bit faster. So we've done ankles, we've done calves, and then we're going to go for like a high knee run here, which is going to be closer to your run. So yeah, with this, it just kind of reinforces those sort of positions we want to be in when we're running and when we're sprinting. Focus on being nice and tall, getting that knee in front of the body, which creates that space for you to be able to attack the ground, hit the ground hard and aggressive to get as much as you can out of each step and spend as little time on the ground as possible. So from here, going to go higher knees, and I'm just going to carry it out a wee bit further as well. So even if you start on the spot, build up the frequency, and then start to move forward. We're shifting, we're going all right. Hamstring feels good, body feels good. Achilles are a wee bit niggly, but I suppose running on roads and stuff, running on hard ground the last couple of weeks has probably been doing that. But yeah, we're feeling good. We're going to go scissors, and then we're going to the dribble bleeds after. So basically with a scissor bound or straight leg run, we're focused on keeping that slight lean forward of the upper body, keeping the rib cage down, keeping the leg relatively stiff, and just focusing on that sort of whip. So from the hamstrings, the glutes, whipping that foot back underneath the hip, and it's that whip back that gets you moving forward. So when you're actually sprinting, when you're running, once you get that knee to that position here, a lot of people can get into that position really well, but they struggle to snap out of it and get the foot back into the ground. So this is where the scissor bound comes in, where we're getting that knee in front and then we're whipping from the hip, attacking the ground to get us moving forward. So that's what we're going to work on here. Similar to the dribbles, starting small, and then as we get it further into it, we're going to open up the size, increase the intensity, increase the speed. So slight lean forward, keeping the toes up, pulling back into the ground, and then get bigger. So we're going to do 2 more of those, then we're going to do our dribble bleeds, then we're going to do a few speed efforts. That's the thing with a speed session, like it doesn't need to be, we're always focusing on quality rather than quantity, focusing on driving with intent, focusing on moving well, giving yourself good rest in between each run, in between each rep, so that you're fresh hitting each one. A lot of the time, speed sessions can turn into, right, they'll sprint at a 45, take 10 seconds rest, sprint back. That's just a fucking conditioning session that's not going to improve your speed, because after 1 or 2 reps, you're going to be fucked. Intensity's going to drop, you're not getting those maximum outputs. And then talking in between reps here fucking tires you out as well. So I'm going to give myself a few seconds, go for another 2 of the scissors, another 2 of the dribbles, but building up the speed a wee bit more, blending them into a run. And then we're going to go into our speed efforts from there. So, look on the GPS, like the good thing about the live session, we've hit like 7.16 off a couple of drills, so happy enough with that. And you can see that step balance as well, so we're 50-50, which is good. Sometimes, like what I had been seeing over the last wee while was getting like 46-54 with the right leg doing a lot of the work. And then because the left leg was sort of lagging behind, it wasn't doing as much work, and it was just getting fatigued and getting weaker. So yeah, getting the strength in the hamstring up on the left side, and then getting those sort of technique issues kind of ironed out as well, and just to become more efficient, more effective. But obviously with surgery coming up, want to get it as good as possible before then, get the surgery, and then the process. Yes, we're kind of picking up where we left off, but we'll probably take like a step or 2 back and then try and build it back up again. So yeah, we're trying to get as strong of a position now to make that process after the surgery a lot easier. But to be honest, it's a bit of a head fuck. Like opening up here, feeling good, moving well. I'm kind of like, do I need the surgery? But then even like yesterday on the plane, like sitting down for an extended period of time, like even after like 40-45 minutes, it was like, fuck, it's starting to get sore just literally sitting there. So I know if I was to go back, I could probably play a match tomorrow, but I know I'll just be back to the same sort of pain after a certain period of time, and that's been the cycle the last couple of years. So I know that we actually need a bit more of a permanent solution. So it's annoying, it's frustrating, and you ask the questions every time. It's like, do you need the surgery, do you not need it? But nah, it has to be done. So we're gonna go dribble bleeds here. That sort of high knee type run, but then we're gonna bleed it into a sprint as we get towards the 45 down there, and just try and push the speed a wee bit more, get everything firing, and then we're into your speed efforts. So I like to just build up the frequency initially, and then gradually add the speed to the run from here. Feeling good. I'm actually surprised how good I feel. Ground is nice and hard, nice and firm. We're feeling springy, feeling bouncy. Running, bit of a wind at the back. So I feel like an 8.5 coming on here. We'll see how we get on. So with that, obviously the speed was a wee bit higher, longer distance of a rep. So we're going to take a wee bit longer for a rest period here. Rule of thumb for rest periods, you want to take like 30 to 60 seconds per 10 meters that you sprint. Obviously, if you're looking all out max efforts, you're pushing for a PB, you want to go for more rest. But sometimes in team sessions, or if you're doing your speed before a team session, you have that constraint of time, it needs to be done by a certain time. So you might want to go on the sort of lower end, but where possible, I'd always push to the higher end to try and get longer rest between your reps. Look at that, it's fucking summer again. It was lashing 2 minutes ago, now the sun's out. With this session as well, I might have said this already, but obviously this is more of a max speed focus session. I'll probably do another video where we're focused on acceleration, where we're more forward, we're more getting from sort of building up from sort of like a dead start, whereas this is like, right, what's our top end speed like, how fast can we go, and everything's a lot more upright and a lot more vertical forces at play. Everything's coming down into the ground, whereas when we're accelerating, we're a lot more forward, everything's coming back, it's a lot more horizontal focused. So I'll split those sessions up into 2, and then with the acceleration focus session, I'll work on a lot of change of direction stuff as well. So when you're setting up your week, say you have team training Tuesday, Friday, game on Sunday, for example. Tuesday will be your acceleration, change of direction focus session. That's the way I like to do it. And then Friday, then we'll go for a max speed focus session, and then we keep the intensity low, or keep the intensity high. Sorry, keep the volume low so that we're not overly frying ourselves. And then Sunday you're going to fly into the game then. That's the way I like to set it up for the week. So one day acceleration, change of direction focused, other day max speed focused before your team training sessions then. Right, so we're going to go one more rep of the dribble bleeds, and then we're going to go into our full speed efforts then. Right, so we're going to do a couple of shorter efforts, a couple of accelerations. I know that you just said that I split up my accelerations and max speed into different days, but I found that getting the accelerations relatively short distance is not going to take an awful lot out of you, and you can probably do them more frequently rather than your max speed type stuff, because it's not going to fry you as much. So literally before max speed, before I go into my max speed efforts, I'll do 2 10 meters, 2 20 meters, definitely flying from there, and then I'll go into maybe 3 max speed efforts before going to a team session. But because I'm not going to do a team session, I'm probably going to do a wee bit more of the max speed stuff, because it's going to be, for me, it's going to be sub max. It's not going to be, I'm not going full tilt. Well, maybe I'll go 1 rep and see how I feel. If I can push it a wee bit, I might. But yeah, I think with the rehab process, because I know I'm getting surgery, it's kind of right, in a sensible way, can I kind of push the boundaries a wee bit just to see kind of where I'm at? Because at least I have time on my side to be before the surgery, I have time on my side to be right, this was too much, I can get to here. So yeah, we're gonna go for it anyway and see how we get on. But a couple of short efforts. I say 10 meters, but I just go by the lines in the pits, go to the 13. I think it's a relatively small pit, so it probably is about fucking 10 meters anyway. So as I was saying, acceleration is a lot more forward, a lot more horizontal. We want to be leaning forward so we can attack down and back into the ground, and then gradually raise as we go through it. That felt fucking weird. It's mad, when you don't do something for a period of time, how mad it can feel. Yeah, obviously with the tendon, you have to sort of give it a chance to settle, but now that it is settled, we can start pushing things a wee bit more. I suppose it's like anything, sprinting's a skill at the end of the day, and if you don't practice a certain skill, it regresses over time. So dusting off the cobwebs here. Again, with acceleration, slightly shorter rest times. Again, you're still going for that 30 to 60 seconds per 10 meters, but because that was only 10 meters, 30 to 60 seconds is grand. One thing with acceleration is first couple of steps, because you're trying to generate that force, generate that momentum, your first few steps are going to be pretty long and slow, but with a high amount of force. And then basically as you go, each step, after the first step, you want to get faster and faster and faster with each step. That's literally the goal. Acceleration is you want to get as fast as possible, as fast as possible. In order to do that, you want to keep hitting the ground hard with each step, but you want each step to come quicker and quicker and quicker. So if you imagine clapping it out, as you go through, it gets a lot faster and faster and faster as you build through the run. So, gonna go one more rep, gonna go to the 21, gonna take a good rest. Oh, speeds went up a wee bit there, 7.3. Gonna take a good rest, and then we're gonna hit some longer efforts. Might even go across the pit so we'll have the wind behind us, try and get an extra few meters per second on the board. So session so far, we've done warm-up, done our prep stuff, our ISOs and that, just to get the body firing. We're going to do our drills. Again, continue to get the body firing, continue to get the body warm, but also get comfortable in certain positions that we want to see when we're sprinting. Ryan might slow down one of these sprints, and then you can see yourself, if you look at the drills that we were looking at, focus on get that knee in front, focus on attacking the ground, focus on that cyclical type movement. If you have a look at it in slow-mo, you'll be able to see all those different positions coming together. So you want to think of the drills of breaking the skill down and then put it all back together for the session, and then when you get to that max speed effort, it's everything's thrown together and you're just letting it happen. With that one, obviously longer distance, going to give myself 4 minutes, covering 40 meters, so I'm going to give myself 4 minutes recovery. Right away with that one, probably got a bit excited and just kind of went for it a bit. Felt okay, felt alright, felt good. Again, just felt a bit weird because I haven't been sprinting full tilt in a while. but you can feel that wee sort of, not soreness or not a pain, but just a wee bit of sensation in the hamstring. So yeah, focus for me is like, generally I'd go like a big long stride. So focus for me is like trying to get a better frequency of steps, rather than like focusing on really hitting the ground hard, spending more time on the ground, and then having a longer stride length. I want to focus on like a faster turnover with steps, but still hitting the ground hard. So yeah, I'm gonna take another 2-3 minutes, and then I'm gonna go 1 or 2 more reps. What's that been? Half an hour maybe, by the time we got going, maybe 40 minutes. I know we've been talking and stuff, but if you're just down, you weren't talking to the camera, like you'd be into the session, warm up, drills, build up the speed, build up the momentum, fly into your max speed efforts, maybe like, 2 shorter ones, 2, maybe 3, 40, 45 meters, and then you'd be into your team warm up then. Team warm ups, like, I don't know, like for me, team warm ups I never feel really good with, so I like to get my own warm up done beforehand, just to make sure that I'm fully ready to go for the session. Plus the other side of it is, if you've the lads who come down, they're swinging points, they're kicking ball outside of the boot, they're not doing a full warm up, and it takes them 20-30 minutes into the session to get going, you'll be fucking flying for the first couple of runs of the session. You'll be able to burn them, take them on, and you're probably going to look better on them too, so all up there. Right, we'll go one more, see how we get on. Felt better, felt like I had a faster turnover there. In terms of the overall technique, still felt a bit ropey. As I say, like, haven't sprinted in a while, happy enough with how we're going. We'll check the live sort of feedback, see what sort of speeds we hit. Gonna go for 1 more. But in terms of like, outcome of the session was getting up to speed, running it as close to top speed as I could, pain free. And we've done that, so I'm happy with that. Happy with how the session's gone. Over the next couple of weeks, continue to build on that, continue to build the speeds up, providing the hamstring doesn't get too sore. And then surgery in August, and then the rebuild for targeting January return for the start of the league. That's the plan. Back into training before then, hopefully, and then targeting first game of the league. All being well, fingers crossed, if everything goes smoothly. So yeah, we'll check the speed here, and then we'll go for 1 more. 7.91. I said if we get in around 8, I'd be happy. Seeing the 7 though, I'm kind of like, fuck, we'll push it a little wee bit here. But no, like for having not sprinted in a couple of weeks, like I'm a couple of weeks, probably a couple of months more like now, I am relatively happy with it. Like it's sort of, you have to like detach from looking at the numbers all the time. The big thing is like, yes, the numbers there, but you want to look at the inputs and then the numbers will look after themselves. So that's the one thing with the GPS, like you don't want to be running over and checking the speed every time, being like, fuck, then you just tense up and you freeze and you're just trying to hit this number. If anyone knows my big mate Darren McGurn, he used to do it flat out. He ended up with a long-term injury, probably got guilty of it myself, trying to push speed, trying to push numbers all the time, and ended up with my hamstring being fried, although it was a wee bit different, but the training probably didn't help it either, like just trying to always push speed and pushing volumes too much. But yeah, big thing with the numbers, detach from the numbers, focus on the inputs, and then the numbers and the outcomes will look after themselves if you're doing the right type of work. So we're going to go for 1 more effort here. After this, because I don't have a team session after this, I'm going to go and do a lower body session. Like it's a good way to pair up your gym work. When I chat about keeping those high intensity days on the same days, you can do your speed stuff while you're freshest, because you need the higher outputs for them, and then you can follow that up with your power, your jumps, all that sort of crack, and then into your lower body strength work. Hit the body hard, hit the CNS hard, hit the legs hard. Tomorrow then you'll have an easier day, recovery day. It could be, light sort of off-feet conditioning. It could be just pure recovery day. It could be a bit of upper body gym. And then you probably have a bigger session then on Thursday? Might have a bigger session come the weekend then. So you're going to go high, low, high when you're sort of splitting up your week. So yeah, we're going to go 1 more effort, see how we get on. We're going to change it up and we're going to run with the wind and head sort of diagonal across the pitch. Just so you can see the difference between running alongside the wind or in the wind with running with the wind at your back. So yeah, we're gonna go for a rep here with the wind and see how we get on. Right away, just felt quicker, felt lighter, felt like I was moving well. Yeah, we'll see what we hit. You can even see right away, like the fucking wind that I'm running with, you can probably hear it in the mic. So yeah, felt good. If only you could play every day with the wind at your back. You'll be swinging points from everywhere, hitting top speeds. Just make life so much easier. Normally once you get in Ireland, you play against the wind in the first half, and then you're going right happy days with the wind in the second half, and then the fucking changes and you're against the wind in both halves. And then it probably starts licing as well. So see what it hit here. Faster again. So 9.26. Said initially, like if I got the 8 meters per second, I would be happy. We got the 7.9 kind of into the wind. I was like, fuck it, it's a windy day, we'll go with the wind at our back. So 9.26. Haven't hit that in a long time, so I'm happy with that. Big wind at the back, to be fair. So I'd love to see a day where there's no wind, it's nice and calm, see what I kind of hit. But yeah, good success. Gonna leave it there. Other thing I was looking at was step balance. You can see slightly right foot to start to take over a wee tiny bit, but it's literally only like 1% of a difference, which is good. Anything over like 4 or 5%, you're like, right, there's something going on there, something needs to be looked at. But no, I'm fucking buzzing with that. I'm happy with that. Good session. Gonna finish it off here. I'm gonna go and do a lower body gym session. Just hit the legs while they're feeling good, fly straight into it, and that'll be my high day. Tomorrow will be a low day. And then, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers for watching. Like, share, subscribe, share it with a teammate who's slow as fuck and needs to get faster. But yeah, on that, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers for watching.